YouTube? Crash Wilcox. So, you just built yourself an Intel and Nvidia PC, huh? You spent weeks and weeks researching, watching a bunch of YouTube videos, hopefully some of my YouTube videos, and you thought, AMD schmamd. I know what I like, and you know what? I'm willing to spend a whole heck of a lot more to get it. So what you came up with was a nice Intel and Nvidia PC. And I'm just messing around. Intel's awesome. Still great if you're willing to pay for it. Which, you know, I'm a big believer of the buy once, cry once, right? So, you know what you like, and you dove head first after it. So, you know, you went through all those YouTube videos, you got all your parts ordered, put it all together, getting ready to turn that thing on, but there's still a few steps that you need to accomplish before you're ready to go and start poning some noobs in Fortnite. So that's what we're going to walk you through in this video, is those last few steps to get your computer set up, ready to go. So the first thing you want to do is come to Windows. Now this is before you get your computer built, so you're going to have to find a different computer and get this built, or get this accomplished first. So come to the Microsoft software download. I'll have this link down in the description, so you can just follow it. And you're going to want to create this Windows installation media. So just get a USB thumb drive. I think it has to be like at least 8 gigabytes or something like that, not very big. And click on this download tool now. I'm not going to walk you through how to do this. I'll have a video linked to Tech Deals where he walks you through how to download this media and get it installed on your new computer so that you can be up and running with Windows. I'm assuming you're going to go Windows. Why wouldn't you? Anyways, so get that done first before you do anything on another computer. And then once you have the Windows installation media downloaded on your thumb drive, I would recommend coming over to urcdkey.com, because in order to use that Windows media, you're going to have to purchase a Windows key. And this is the cheapest way I've found to reliably do it. I know you can probably go on eBay and stuff like that, but this is where I buy my Windows keys. So come to urcdkey, you can type in Windows, and then you'll see Windows 10 Home, $15, $17 for Pro, and I'll have a link down in the description as well for a promo code from Tech Deals. So thank you, Tech Deals, for 20% off, so you can save even more money on this. And this will be a legitimate copy of Windows. So you can see here, this is what I'm running on this computer. No watermark, no anything, just a legit copy of Windows. So now you've got your Windows media downloaded. You've got your product key purchased. So now you can stick that thumb drive in, fire up your computer, and run through that Windows installation. Once you're done with that and your computer is up and running, I don't recommend going into the BIOS or doing anything like that initially. I would say get all your drivers and everything set up before you start messing with BIOS and XMPs and overclocks and all that sort of stuff. Just let everything run as the computer wants it to run. And then once you get everything downloaded, you can go back through and start tweaking things. So you got your Windows open. So the first thing I would do is come into your settings, your update and security, and make sure that your Windows is fully up to date. If you just downloaded the Windows Media tool, probably is, but this is always a good place to check. And if you have an older version of Windows that you've downloaded, maybe you've used this on a previous computer, whatever it happens to be, Windows comes out with updates quite regularly, so just make sure that your Windows is up to date. Because sometimes if you start downloading drivers and stuff like that to a not up-to-date version of Windows, it can get a little squirrely. So make sure Windows is updated first. So now your Windows is up to date. So the next thing you want to do is go to your CPU Intel drivers. So you're going to come over to Intel, just type in intel.com, come over here to the support button, downloads and drivers, and I'll just click on browse for drivers, and it's going to pull you up to this website. So Windows is really simple. in what they do. So you're going to click on, and it's not going to work for me because I already have this downloaded on my computer, but you're going to click Get Started, and you'll see really quickly it showed a little Download Now tab right there, and it's going to pull you to this this piece of software, the Intel Driver and Support Assistant. So what's great about Intel is it's kind of a one-stop shop for all their drivers and stuff like that. Real simple. You just open it up, it scans your computer, and it tells you what drivers need to be installed, and you'll just pull this up, let it do its thing. It'll show you all the stuff that you have on your computer here, so it'll give you a list of all the stuff that you got there, CPU, GPU, everything like that. And if you do need to download stuff, which you obviously will if it's your first time downloading, it'll have a little button up here. It'll show you the drivers that need to be installed, and you can click either one at a time to download them, or there'll be a download all button. Just click download all. It'll run through its thing, downloading the drivers, and then it'll give you like an install. Just click the install button again, let it do its thing, and you'll be good to go there. Maybe you have to restart your computer, whatever it happens to be, but that'll take care of all your Intel drivers. So one thing to note, because it kind of caught me off guard with this, if you have a Wi-Fi motherboard, you may have to be plugged in Ethernet before your motherboard's Wi-Fi will work. So because part of your drives down here you'll see is your wireless drivers will not be up to date with Intel, so it may not actually work. That caught me off guard. I had a little bit of issue getting this thing up and running until I plugged it into an Ethernet cord, so keep that in mind if you have a Wi-Fi motherboard. But with that being said, now you got your Windows updated and installed. You got your Intel drivers updated and installed. The next thing you want to do from there is go to your NVIDIA drivers for your graphics cards. So you're going to come over here to NVIDIA, and you can just click on this button right here, drivers, and it'll take you to this site. And you can go through manually searching for your drivers, whatever happens to be. I would recommend just click on download for the automatic driver updates, and that'll give you the GeForce Experience app. So you'll download that, and then this is the app that will pop up right here, your GeForce Experience. On the home screen, it'll show you probably shouldn't have any games downloaded at this point. But what you want to do is just come over here to your drivers, and you can see right here for me, mine's all up to date, but you can have, it'll say like download for the latest drivers or whatever happens. It'll say download in some sense. If it doesn't, if it says check for updates, just click on check for updates. It'll run through it. It'll tell me right now I already have the latest drivers because I just updated this. But for you, it might tell you that there's a new drive or new drivers out. Download those, and then it'll give you like an express install or like a manual or custom install. I don't know what it says. Just click express install, and then that'll give you the most up-to-date drivers. So you'll see that's for, yep, got the most up-to-date drivers, and now you're ready to go. One thing that they do have in the GeForce Experience, which is kind of cool, I haven't dove too deep into it, but if you click here, it'll tell you what drive preferences that you want. So obviously for most of us, you're probably going to be gaming a lot on these computers, so you want the best game-ready drivers. But if by chance you're going to be doing a lot of video editing or different sorts of I guess it says studio drivers, you can download the best studio drivers, and that might give you better performance in some of those studio applications and stuff like that. So you can mess with that. You can deep dive a little bit more into what that actually means. I'm not going to go into that here, but it does give you that option, which is cool. I think that's a nice touch. So boom, there you go. Now you got your Windows downloaded, your Intel drivers downloaded, and your graphics cards downloaded. So the next thing you want to do is go to, I would think, your motherboard drivers. You kind of just stair-stepping this thing to make sure that your computer's up and running. So for me, I have a wonderful, I'll kind of go back here just so you guys can see how to get here. Yeah, let's just click here. Let's go back to the home page. So I have an ASRock motherboard, a wonderful Phantom Gaming ITX Z390 motherboard. So you can just click here on products, come to the motherboard. Now it's going to be different if you have a Gigabyte, Asus, MSI, whatever it happens to be. You're going to kind of have to walk through how to get those. Easiest thing to do, just go to Google and type in, whatever your motherboard is, Gigabyte Z390 Pro Wi-Fi drivers or something like that. Google that. It should pull you right to the page. Otherwise, just come here like I'm doing with this ASRock, and you can just kind of find what you're looking for. Phantom Gaming. Yep, that's the one we got, Z390 Gaming ITX. Open that up, and then you're going to come down here to your support tab, to the downloads, and now you're just going to have to start picking out more of the utilities, I would say, that you're going to be looking for. When you upload Windows, Intel, and your NVIDIA drivers, that's going to have most everything that you're going to need. Because you can see in here, it'll have things like, your wireless LAN drivers. Intel's already taken care of that for us. That sort of stuff. So you're really just looking for utilities at this point. So for ASRock specifically, you're going to want the ASRock App Shop, because that's going to let you download your polychrome so that you can manage your RGB. Another one that I like here is the Phantom Gaming Tuning, or it might be called like the ASRock Tuning, something like that. And that's a real simple driver to help you with overclocking and stuff like that. So download those. Again, pick whatever ones you want, but for the most part, if it has to do with Intel or anything like that, it's going to be taken care of by Intel. Start downloading those drivers or those utilities, and then up here you'll see as well BIOS. I will say, and this is just a me preference, you guys can let me know in the comments if you have a different thought on this, but if you turn your computer on and everything's running, you don't need to download the latest BIOS. If you start playing games and stuff is weird, things aren't working right, or whatever, different applications aren't working right, then you can go in, check the BIOS, maybe update to a newer BIOS, but you don't just always have to update to the newest BIOS. If everything's working fine, go ahead and leave it. No sense in messing up a good thing, because it may just bring more problems than it solves. So there you go. Now you got your motherboard utilities taken care of. So from there, now you're just going to again start kind of walking around what the different products that you have are. So we've already downloaded our NVIDIA drivers, but I have a Zotac graphics card. So it's NVIDIA graphics card, but it's made by Zotac. So I'm going to come to the Zotac website right here to see if there's any Zotac specific utilities that I can download. So again, just find wherever it says support. Most of all these manufacturers' websites are the same. They're going to have something listed as like a support page or whatever. Go there, just find whatever happens to say like downloads or drivers. For here it says download center. Click on that. And then it'll bring us to the page here. You're going to just click on what product we have. We got our graphics card. What are we looking for? We're going to look for drivers. It's a 1080 Ti that I have. And the operating system, Windows 10. And then it'll ask you for the product name. Mine specifically is a 1080 Ti Mini. And if you guys care to see what this actual computer is, I have the full build guide on my channel. I'll have it listed up here. Go check that out. It's my sort of go anywhere, do anything sort of backpack portable PC. So it's a monster. Go check it out. It's a pretty cool video. But then you'll just click on view results here. Come down and then yep, you'll see what we have here. So you can download your specific NVIDIA drivers from your manufacturer website if you want to, but it'll tell you right here, current driver is 442.5. We can open up our GeForce Experience and see, yep, 442.5. That's the most current one, so we're good there. And then right here, this is the only one that they have, the Firestorm utility. You can download this if you want. I've downloaded it as sort of a GPU monitoring software, which is pretty cool. If you want to download that, you can go ahead and download that. And then walking out, what other products do we have in here? So we've already got our motherboard, our graphics cards, our CPU. So really the only other thing that we kind of have in here, we have an EVGA power supply. So you can come and download, like I said, every manufacturer's got their own little drivers and stuff like that. I'm not going to download this at the time, but you can download, even like specific power supply utilities. And if you want to monitor, like it'll tell you here, it will monitor your voltages and set your fan speeds and power supply efficiency. So you can download that sort of stuff again to keep track of your system. I'm not going to download it right now because my power supply works fine. It's an 80 plus gold. I'm not really concerned. EVGA is excellent. If you're unsure of what products to buy and EVGA makes a product, get EVGA. They're awesome. All right, so there you go, man. You got Windows installed. You've got product keys bought. You've got Intel drivers updated, NVIDIA drivers updated. You got your motherboard utilities downloaded. You've got your graphics card specific manufacturer utilities downloaded. You got a few other utilities for your products, whatever happens to be. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is kind of the ancillary or non-essential utilities, if you will. So that could be stuff like, maybe if you have Logitech components or whatever, your mouse, your keyboard, that sort of stuff, they might have their own utilities. So, for me, I have a Logitech mouse, the G305, and a Logitech headset. So I have Logitech G Hub software downloaded. You could have Corsair, their ICUE or whatever to manage their RGB. So just start looking at the different components that you have and going to their specific websites and downloading whatever drivers or utilities that they might have for those specific components. Like I said, kind of building out from your operating system and CPU and stuff. And then the last ones I think are just kind of good utilities that I think everybody should have to kind of keep track of what their computer's doing. So the first one that I have here, go to cpuid.com or just Google CPU-Z. This is just a great system monitoring software if you're kind of curious of what your computer is doing. Just come here, you can either click a classic version, just a simple setup here, or you can download if you have a specific brand that you like. I think I have a Zotac variant, so let me pull that up here. So you'll download CPU-Z, and this will let you just monitor how your computer's running. So maybe you go in and you set up a XMP profile or something like that. You're trying to overclock your RAM, and you want to make sure that it's actually running at the speeds that you have it set up to. CPU-Z will tell you that. So come in here, it'll tell you, yep, there's my 8700K. Yep, there's my Z390 Gaming ITX motherboard. Here's my RAM. Yep, set at 3200 megahertz. So that checks out. I got 16 gigs. So just a good way to, monitor. Oh, yep, there's my NVIDIA 1080 Ti. Kind of keep track of what you're doing. You can even run benchmarks on here, stress your CPU to make sure everything's running well. So that's a nice software to get. And then also in here, where is it at? I don't have it pulled up because I wasn't going to think about it, but Hardware Monitor is a CPUID software as well. That's a good software to have. Download that. You can Google Hardware Monitor as well if you can't find it in here. And that'll give you a good breakdown of, the speeds that your CPU cores are running at if you're trying to overclock, or temperatures on your CPU. Whatever happens to be, is a good software to sort of, again, monitor your system. We're always trying to, make sure that our computer's running the way it's supposed to be running. So there is that CPU-Z. And then the last one I'm going to touch on is just MSI Afterburner. So again, just come in here, Google MSI Afterburner, click on that link, and just scroll down to the bottom here and download this version, MSI Afterburner. And this is what gives you access. If you ever see like those in-game overlays of people that have like their average FPS on the screen, their CPU clock speeds, their GPU speeds, fan speeds, whatever happens to be, this software will give you that. Let me see if I can open it up quickly here because I wasn't thinking. Yep, and then it'll look just like this. Open this up, and if you want to start setting things up, click on this little setting button. I'm not going to walk through how to do this. I will link a video in the description as well, another tech deals video, just because I think he is a very good instructor, and walk through how to set this thing up. Just basically clicking on monitoring, kind of coming through here, picking the things that you specifically want to monitor. But then obviously your little sliders here if you want to overclock your GPU, whatever happens to be. So those are just some good software. So with that being said, I think that's everything that you would really need. In the last two, CPU ID and Afterburner are not necessary, but they're just nice things to have to monitor your system with. And the last one that I wanted to touch on, and I don't know much about this, I kind of just started researching it, but I'm interested in it, so I may do a little bit of research and maybe put a video out here later. It is, what was it called? It was the graphics performance analyzer. Son of a gun. Anyways, it's called Intel. I have it written down here. The Intel Graphics Performance Analyzer. I think maybe if I went to, let me see. Yeah, Intel Graphics Performance Analyzer. I don't know much about this, but just from researching it, it seems like a very useful tool to, we use MSI Afterburner and stuff like that to sort of monitor our games and our FPS and stuff like that. But if things go wrong, it doesn't really necessarily tell us what goes wrong. But from what I gather with this, and again, if you have any idea about this or if you've used it in the past, let me know in the comments. But it seems like if you run this system analyzer, it can basically give you real-time metrics on how your CPU, GPU are running. If there's running into issues, it has like a frame analyzer, like it says here, how to fix your performance woes. So I might do a little bit deeper dive into this because it seems like a cool utility. Because so often, I'm on Facebook with my little PC building groups and stuff like that, and so many questions about, hey man, my computer used to run fine, but all of a sudden I turned it on and my graphics card drops to 20% usage, or my frame rate goes from 100 FPS and now it's running at 30. Like, what's going on? And what it sounds like is this tool might be able to kind of help you with that. So this is maybe another good tool to look at. And again, I will try to do my homework on this and maybe come up with a better video. But in the meantime, maybe check this out. It could be useful to some of you guys. So I hope that this was helpful, man. If it was, please like this video. Consider subscribing to the channel. And if you maybe have more money than you know what to do with, maybe go to Patreon. Consider helping me out. These videos are time consuming and computer components aren't cheap. I'd love to bring you guys more content, more hardware components and that sort of stuff, but it all costs money. So anyways, man, I hope you guys found this useful. God bless.